So excited to invite all of you here to the Crack the Code podcast today. I've got a special guest, Kim Mallory. Kim is a coach, an author, and educator in the field of holistic wellness and vibrational healing. So, welcome to the podcast, Kim.
Hi, Cora. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited for the listeners to hear your story, but for now we're going to do a little mini episode. So we're not going to give them the full story yet. We'll save that for the next time you're on. But I thought for today, because you were through such a major health event, and I know you managed to stay so positive, I'm just going to ask you, if maybe you can give the listeners some tips on mindset and how you maintained your positivity through the event that you went through.
Right. So, yes, I became very ill in 2020 and I flipped my life upside down. I went from being a realtor to a hospital patient. The chance of my survival was 70%. So in my eyes, I knew I needed to take it to 100% and work my energy. And so I just knew that because of the situation, everybody around me was in turmoil. My family, my friends, they were all freaking out. And because I'm very sensitive to negative energy, I knew that I needed to change their outlook because their negativity was either like, I'm doomed, or they're going to hurt themselves, they're going to have a heart attack or whatever it is because they're not dealing, right? So I phoned them up one by one and just said, hey, like, I need you to switch your thinking and your thought patterns so that I can get through this. And I need to remain calm. I need to remain focused so I can get better. And that's kind of where it started. I've always been really positive by nature. And, it was really important for me to use that throughout this process.
Yeah. And so did you already have some tools that you were using to, get you into that better place? Like that's a pretty, significant jump to have to go from the 70% to the 100%.
Yes. I was in the hospital, so I had a lot of free time, obviously. I was very ill and really weak, but I did a lot of meditating. I had a crystal wand that was given to me by my son-in-law, and it was made by an indigenous chief. And I used to charge that wand in the sunlight, and I would scan my body with it every day. Intuitively, that's what I thought to do with it. Really, I never really, used crystals or anything before, but being given that, it was important for me to keep it with me. And so that was the beginning. I was in the hospital the first time for 33 days. And at one point, I had asked all of my Facebook friends and family to send me their energy on a specific date at a specific time so that I could meditate on it. And during that meditation, the intensity was off the charts. Like it was a mystical, magical experience. I could feel my body floating off the bed. I could feel myself surrounded in white light. And the tears like flowed like a cleansing of all the bad, just washing away all the bad. And I was in this state for about an hour. And it was the most incredible thing that I'd ever experienced. And it gave me hope, and it made me feel like I was on a journey, and this was my journey and something that I was actually meant to go through to come out better on the other side.
Wow. And was that something that you kind of thought up on your own to do the energy
Yeah,
meditation like
like
that?
very intuitive. It's just like, okay, I need to do this, you
Wow.
know. And yeah, it was all really kind of new to me. I had always tried to meditate in the past, and it just like, my mind was racing and I couldn't relax, and it just never worked. And during that time in the hospital, practicing meditation every day, twice a day, it really opened up a lot of connections and, like spiritual connecting to angels or whatever is out there. I mean, I'm praying, I want to get better, and I'm going to for ask and pray to whoever's going to listen, right?
Right. So
So
what do you think? Because I know with meditating, a lot of people say that they have problems meditating, they can't calm down, their mind's racing, it's like that typical thing, especially with women, they've got like your computer with a million tabs open and you just can't relax. So what would you advise people who are trying to slow down and meditate and learn how to kind of be? Do you have tips that people could do when their everyday life?
yes, yes. So when I got out of the hospital, I I created an altar in my apartment, and we had, I had access to water, the seawall. I walked a lot in my apartment every day at 2 o'clock. I would set an intention that I was going to meditate. I would put on some really good beats, binaural beats that really like vibrate into your body. And I would just crank that. I'm sure my neighbors thought I was crazy, but I would crank the beats. And during that time, I would smudge my house. So I would clear all the energy out of the apartment. I'd go into all the corners with sage, light the sage and go into all the corners, remove the negative energy. And I would sit down, turn off the beats, and I would meditate. And I like short meditations. Like, I'm not into the 30, 40 an hour. No, I can't. I'm the type of person that can't sit still.
Yeah.
So I know my limits. So I keep the meditations relatively short. And you'd be surprised at how much better that can work for you just by doing a short meditation. And do that, maybe in the morning. For me, 2 o'clock was my time that I was able to do that and be alone. It's nice if you can get away from whatever you've got going on in the house. So animals, kids,
Mhm.
husband,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And just go into your own little space somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. That's great. And I think that's the part that people don't always realize that is you don't have to be there for hours and hours. Like even just short amounts of time can still make a difference.
Yes.
Maybe you can just quickly tell people about the beats. Is it what is it? Binaural? Um,
Yeah, I call them binaural beats.
yeah.
And
Yeah. Because people that aren't familiar with what that is, maybe.
yeah, it's just like an energy that like gets into your body.
Okay.
So if you go onto Spotify and you go onto my Kim Mallory, you find me Kim Mallory, Bliss Holistic, um, you will find what I listen to. It's Buddha Bar Relax. That's
Okay.
my playlist. And yeah, it's pretty cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
great. So thanks so much for sharing that today. I hope everyone's intrigued enough to join us for the next episode where we go a little deeper into your journey. But for now, how can people get a hold of you? Is there any specific place, your Facebook or?
Yeah, I have a Facebook page and a group called Bliss Out with Kim Mallory. So you can start there. I've got a website, blissholistic.ca as
Perfect.
well. Yeah.
Awesome. So we'll leave all that also in the show notes. So if you want to join Kim's group or check out her website, I know she's got the story on there, but we will have her back for another chat where we'll learn more about what she's been going through for the last few years. So thanks so much for joining us today, Kim, and we look forward to chatting on our next episode.
Thank you.